Welcome everybody to the Fantasy Football Guru podcast. And for the first time, at this podcast that we're growing, now we're going bigger and bigger with our first video podcast. And your host here, Mr. No Name Team, Alfredo Ramirez. And with me, I have Mr. Exterminator, Gladiators, Pedro Gonzalez. Pedro, how are you?
Doing well over here, just enjoying Cancun.
Interesting, right?
Yeah.
What a year. I mean, you basically had your opportunity looking at analyzing your team. And now look at you now. Now you're on your way to Cancun, bro. How?
Bro, it all started in the very beginning of the season. I think everybody in the league, I think I've had the worst luck with quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers in front of America dies on camera in the first few plays of the game.
Yep.
I had to have picked him. There it is. And I've looked at some of my losses. Like some of the close losses. 20-point quarterback would have made the difference. Nothing to 8 points from Brock Purdy at one time, 12 points from Brock Purdy another time. Anthony Richardson when he first started. It was not easy.
But Gladiators, it's interesting because you're mentioning about all the bad things that happened to you. But for the rest of the league, and they have completely, analyzed your team. Some could say that you maybe had some good luck on your squad. First of all, just to summarize, week 2, the trade that everybody went crazy for were for Stephon Diggs, DK Metcalf, and Mike Williams. And to this moment, I still believe that I would have done the trade. Yes, Mike Williams got hurt. But at that moment, like I explained many times, I have a feeling that the Buffalo Bills will explode. And I didn't want nothing to do with Stephon Diggs. And we're seeing it right now. Stephon Diggs have been, in a way, struggling the last couple of weeks. So you had a squad. You had Stephon Diggs. The week after that, in the waiver wire, you picked up Puka after I picked up Joshua Kelly. What a difference, because if I would have gotten Puka, who knows? I went with Joshua Kelly. You went with Puka. And then you have CJ Stroud, probably the best quarterback that we have. Oh, and we're not done. Your tight end, probably a top 5 tight end this year. Solid running backs. So why? What can you say? You maybe had some bad luck with quarterbacks, but the rest of your team, you have a squad.
Yeah, but look, y'all been saying it all year in the podcast. It's a very competitive league. You can't skate by at making less than 100 points. Of all if I analyze my team, I only scored less than 100 points 2 times the whole year. And that was the first game, which I had 68 points, I think it was. And the second time was in like the middle of the year. And I lost both of those games. You can't skate by with less than 100 points in this league. Obviously, you've done it, but not everybody has pigeons in their backyard. So,
No matter what people think. And I'll tell you this, Dan and Steven, I have a squad. I'm over 500 because I have a good team. But yeah, I mean, you were one of the highest scoring individuals in the league this year. I would say maybe top 3, right? Something like that.
Top 4, because during the last few weeks, I came down a little bit because bye week started making more points. But yes, top 4.
So you're saying that the main reason why you are where you're at right now is because you have allowed the most points in this league, right? You mentioned
that's
that to me.
That's part of the reason, correct? Because I've looked at there's only 2 real games that I looked at that I was blown out. Doesn't matter what it is that I could have done, which is the first week against Franklin, and then the week that bye week scored 172 points. That week I scored 120. 120 would have beaten at the very least half the league, but it's not enough because I scored that's 172 points, which is the most that anybody has scored in the league. First and second by me when I scored 107. So I can score points. It's just it doesn't matter if I score as many points as I do if whoever it is that I play blows up.
I mean, we could tell. I mean, we saw, consistently you were always above 100 points. I guess that's the standard. Some people use 95, some 110, 120, but you were always above there. I mean, and looking down at the points average, look at the people. You have so far allowed 1,434 points. After that, KMA, 1,383. Los Cookies, Alex, by week, and ARP, Danny, Andy, from Mr. Deeds, Steven at 1,264, Franklin, 1,235, and then I allowed the fewest points at 1,232 points. And no, I mean, sometimes it's just waiting to happen.
That's just the way the cookie crumbles, man. This is fantasy football. Obviously, I don't physically have a defense in front of me that I could say, oh, yeah, my defense could stop all these points. It doesn't work like that in fantasy football.
So you can basically say, because now looking at it, let's pick someone like Steven.
Mm-hmm.
If you face right next to Steven, you have a better squad than his, right? You have scored most points by far than Steven, but you have allowed 200 more points than him.
Correct.
Oh, man. Sometimes, and even Danny, look at Danny. You scored more than Danny, and people say that he's the favorite. But points allowed, he has allowed almost 180 points less than you.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
I think in your case, it's been some bad luck, bad timing. People blew up against you, and I think that's what led to your record. I bet if we start week 1 or just a 1-team, or let's say a 10-team playoff, 1-game elimination, you will probably be one of the top contenders because of your squad.
No, yeah, but it's like I'm saying, fantasy football is not made like that. This is not like this is all at the end of the day is all luck for the most part. Yes, you have to build a squad, you have to draft well, but look at the Dolphins. The Dolphins, they for the past like 10, 15 years, they always win the draft, but they never do anything. There's other parts of the game that goes into it. That like the strength of owner, kind of like how Steven says. The pickups you make throughout the year, that's the most important part of the game, in my opinion. And of course, it's people say, "Oh, I trade rape the most with trades that I do," but yeah, I traded for CJ Stroud for I think it was Hollywood Brown, and that was a good pickup. I didn't offer that trade. That trade was offered to me, and I took it. But it worked out. But the thing is that getting consistent quarterback play throughout the year would have gotten me to a better record. And I didn't have that because of all the injuries that I've got. Anthony Richardson, if Anthony Richardson would have been my quarterback throughout the whole year, he would have been producing the points that he would have produced. I don't think that I would have lost any games, except maybe the one where Franklin beat me and the one where bye week beat me. I would have been just 2. But of course, Anthony Richardson got hurt.
So you're basically saying quarterback play. Yeah, you didn't have a quarterback until when you finally got one, it was already too late.
It was already too late. There's nothing I could have done because at that point, my team had already peaked without a quarterback. Because how is it that you could put up 135 points, 140 points, and stuff like that without a quarterback? You know? That's unheard of. Just like Danny the other day, he got 140 points and his kicker didn't score at not 1 point. He peaked at the right time.
That's an aberration. Those things never happen. That's not a reflection on his team. So that's just a full-on aberration. But I get it. But also, Pedro, some of the detractors can say that yes, maybe you had some bad luck, but then also some moves that you could have made. And you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
And today it came to the perfect fruition. Moss. You were able to pick up Moss. So the first couple of weeks in the year, Moss was a starting running back, and he was giving you monster numbers. He was giving you in the 20s, and I think he even had a 30-point game. Yeah. But then you started saying Jonathan Taylor was coming back. And the question was, if you saw that Jonathan Taylor was taking over, why didn't you trade Moss? Why didn't you try to, like we put it in the stock market? You buy low, sell high. Why didn't you sell high on Moss?
Well, the biggest thing is that, of course, if we were gonna go back and start really look at it, yes, I should have sold high on Moss. But the problem is, I thought that because this is a league where everybody pays attention and everybody sees what's going on, no one was gonna give me what I wanted from Moss. Even if I would have sold him at not even high, I sold him medium. No one was gonna give me exactly what I wanted. And the people that I would have traded with were people that, let's say, at the time, maybe a KMA that had some good people on his squad. He wasn't going to trade with me. Danny, he wasn't going to give me something I want him. I would have offered him a package deal because he loves package deals. But he wasn't going to trade with me. Steven wasn't going to trade with me either. That's the time more or less that he started losing. I think it was week 6, week 5, where he lost Jettas. He wasn't going to trade with me either, And
sometimes you gotta position it well. I'll give you a perfect example with Burrow and Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect negotiation. Robinson, I made him look like he was an all-star.
Mm-hmm.
He was in great offense with a great potential quarterback, and that's what I told him. I told him, hey, Robinson is an all-star. He has the potential of being great. You have a backup quarterback in Burrow, in which you can just give it up like that. But I have what you need. Tell me that I have what you need. None of my other running back is good. Robinson is the one that you need for your team. And Deeds, he fell for it and he accepted it. And I got Joe Burrow. Sometimes maybe you can bullcrap certain people.
Yeah, but look, this is the thing that the real person who I wanted to get players from doesn't pick up players, doesn't do anything. I think I forgot it was it bye week? I think bye week was one that had Kirk Cousins on his bench, and I needed a quarterback, and I sent him messages. He doesn't answer.
No, he doesn't answer.
He doesn't answer anyone. He has on his team. He has like this accumulus of so many good players that are restricted to the whole league because he doesn't trade with anybody. He barely makes moves. So and he drafted I think he drafted to not make any moves the whole year, pretty much. And that's
basically.
And I couldn't get anything from him.
It's fine. Do you regret it?
Not being able to move Moss?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. I regretted not being able to move Moss because I should have moved Moss probably right after that 30-point game. But then again, I can't be like, let's say, Danny, and be like, Dak scored 30 points. Let's try to move Dak. Because at the end of the day, yeah, we're all. At least in my brain, I'm thinking everybody here pays attention to fantasy football. Everybody knows football in general because we're all fans. So anybody can see that, for instance, Moss is not something that's going to be there long term. And of course, at that same time, I was looking for running backs because Saquon Barkley went down. You know,
Yeah, you just have to look for people that are desperate. Sometimes you take advantage of people that are desperate. That's what
yeah,
we have to do.
yeah,
So,
it's
it's
fine. Hey,
fine.
listen, I understand how that works because look, just with the trade with you and me, I'm not saying that you were desperate, but let's really think about this. You were looking to make a move because the guy you drafted, Cooper Cup, was hurt. He got hurt before the beginning of the year. I knew that you needed to do something, and I knew that what you needed were wide receiver. That's why you didn't pick up Puka. You didn't believe in him, but you didn't pick up Puka because you thought that you were good. You thought that you were good at wide receiver. You thought you were good here, but you didn't pick up Puka because you didn't believe. You picked up what was it?
That's okay.
Joshua Kelly because you thought you needed a running back. And you thought you were
I
good with him.
mean, the strategy, and here's the thing: the strategy that I had for the whole draft, I was going to load up on receivers,
Mm-hmm.
basically rely on running backs waiver pickups, have one maybe top running back sleeper like Rondre Stevenson. That was my plan,
Mm-hmm.
and just basically live like that. But then, right after I drafted Cooper Cup, we got notification that he was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm thinking, I knew Cooper Cup was not going to be the same. Even though I could portray that he is doing great, because I would never disclose my opponent what I really think.
Mm-hmm.
But I realized, okay, I need to make a move. I need to get multiple players. Plus, I was seeing what Buffalo was doing. Buffalo were going to explode. I had a feeling that this was going to be the Dolphins' AFC East. And Buffalo, we were hearing a lot of things during the offseason. So my plan was to get Stephon Diggs and then trade him. And yeah, I think Mike Williams, he was going to be a breakout star. Even elite Mike
I thought,
Williams. He was
I
going
thought
to
the
be
same thing.
elite. I,
I thought,
you know, people make fun of Austin Jeffrey. This guy is much better than him. You know, he got hurt. Things happen. DK Metcalf, same way. So I took two B's for one A.
yeah.
And the trade that we did, I know people think that we had collusion. You needed a wide receiver. I, you had, you wanted an all-star because you believed on your running backs. You were offering me running backs. I didn't want running backs. I did not want Barkley. I did not want Henry. I want Mike Williams. That was the one that I really wanted. And it didn't work out. Unfortunately, things happen. So unfortunately, there's nothing we can do.
No, yeah,
But
that's what happened. You know, and to speak on the cheating and the collusion and all that stuff, I'm like, look, and Steven had a wonderful, like, he made me seem like a mastermind. This whole thing about oh, I got these running backs in the beginning and now everything makes sense because he was gonna get two first round picks and 4 picks in the beginning of the no, bro. Listen, you make me out to be like this mastermind. I'm not that clever, bro. Not that clever.
because he has nothing to do, so then he comes up with all these ideas, all these scenarios. They think that based on last year's trade, because last year you gave me Debo Samuel and Miles Sanders, and I gave you Mike Evans and Rondell Moore, that it was a favor for the following year. That you helped me last year, and this year I will help you.
And why didn't we just trade picks?
Yeah, we could have done that. I could have given you later.
The idea was Danny. Danny was the one that wanted to do that in the beginning. He was offering picks to everybody.
No, I was lying.
Was it you?
Yeah. I offered Danny I forgot what it was. I think I was going to give him Cup
Mm-hmm.
for like 3 draft picks.
Are you sure? Because last year, I almost certainly remember Danny offering me draft picks in the future for my current players.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, I could have,
Precious Smith. He wants to portray me as a bad guy, and then he was the bad guy. I hope when
bro,
he sees this, he knows.
man. I don't, I don't want to put. I don't like putting people in trade talks. What I do with other people, like the thing about everybody putting the trade talks out there, I don't like that. But look, I remember in the one of the first years that I was in the league, that Danny was like when the little league, he was like, oh Pedro, let's trade picks here, this, and then in the big league we'll do this and this, and but only if we do this in the little league. Yeah,
then Vasquez, the flag.
dude, it had it. I remember it like if it was like a used car sales, and I was
So
looking at it, I was like,
he said, while you guys were in the little league, let's
mm-hmm.
do a trade, and then you help me, or I help you in the little league, and then you help me when we're in the big league. That's what he proposed to you.
He proposed that to me.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it. At first, I was like, and I told him, nah, bro, let's just keep this league and that league separate. Whatever it is you want to do here, we'll do it. If you want to do something over there, we'll do something over there too. But let's just keep it separate.
Such a snake hypocrite.
Hey, bro, that was years ago. Maybe he's changed.
Well, Pedro, we're basically ending the podcast. We're close to the end. Same as your season. You're now based on a couple of calculations, projections. You're all but eliminated.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have your book bags ready? What have you looked for any excursions in Cancun?
Yeah, Cancun is in my sights. I already got the plane tickets. I have I'm already looking forward to it. And I remember I told you in the text message I'm very upset about what happened this year. But I told you, look, before you go to war, you have to win. You have to win before you go to war. You have to get your money right before you go to war, because then when you go to war, it's already won. And some people in this league have already done that. So I wasn't prepared, but next year it's on.
Any plans for the off season? What are you planning to do? You have some time. Any plans for that?
Well, for my off season now, I would like to chill with my son, do my thing, do the podcast with you, and this all just chill, man. Oh, the playoff. I want to see if we could do a little bit more. So now that I believe that Franklin's going to be gone for a few days, let's see if we could get together and look at the playoff standings, because next week it looks like everything's already set of everybody's going to be in the playoffs. So let's make like a little thing about the playoffs. Make it some WWE style or something. Who knows?
I mean, just enjoy your trip in Cancun. Just do that right now. When you get back, probably when you'll be back, we'll be in the middle of the playoff. I'm actually gonna leave. I'll be out.
You're going on vacation too, right?
Going on a cruise. Hopefully, when I go on a cruise, I'll still be on vacation. I'll still be in the playoff. But if not, and then after that, then yeah, we focus, and we'll see what happens. Well, Pedro, it was a pleasure. I'm sorry, my NWO brother. You're one of the first ones to be eliminated. I think for being the last place, you're probably one of the best last place teams that we've ever had in this league. And any final shout outs to anybody?
Shout out to Franklin. Thank you for having me on the podcast as many times as you did. Hope that you take this home with us. Like, for real, let's win. Don't let the DA Generation X win. We can't have that. Bring the trophy home. And as for the championship belt or whatever it is that you were discussing, I'm not impartial to it. So let's do it. Oh,
Well,
to Danny the Fly, to Danny the Fly. I hope you're doing well. That super team that you assembled destroyed me. You sent me to Cancun. You put me in the hearse, and you sent me there. But you know what? Next year, we're gonna have some different discussions. Steven, I like the videos. I laugh at it.
I forgot the video. You started it and then you took it. But I'm gonna say this: you have way much better videos than him. So you should be still the king of making the videos.
Yeah, I had a little streak there while I was at work that I wasn't doing anything. That's more or less when I started it. But yeah, my videos seem to have a little bit more range than his. So at the end of the day, his are hilarious. I laugh when I see them, especially the one with the music video with me dying. I couldn't stop laughing though.
I don't think it's funny. I don't think it was funny, but well, whatever.
I thought it was hilarious, bro. It's not a big deal. I don't hate you, either. But if you do want to fight in the behind Puerto Tropical, bro, it's gonna have to be this one because I'm not going over there, bro. You probably live too far.
I've been waiting for him in Chase. He still hasn't shown up. I'm waiting for him in Chase, and all what the scary cat did is close his accounts and he went to Bank of America. So he sucks, man.
It's all good then.
Well, Pedro, I know from the league itself, definitely, thank you for everything. Enjoy your vacation, and we'll see you in the trophy ceremony. Hoping maybe I'll be the one having the trophy.
Always a
Well,
prize.
His podcast was brought to you by Chase Bank, the #1 bank in the nation, and we kick out trash like Steven. Thank you, and with the permission, we'll be able to post it to the league.
Yes, sir.